Come, let us explore 7 life-changing meditation secrets for beginners. Let's relaxingly recite together. Our mind dwells in our central nervous system, and our central nervous system dwells in our physical body of flesh, blood, and bone. The advantage to this is that we can make subtle adjustments to the manner in which we sit, thus enhancing the duration and profundity of our practice of meditation. The Mahasiddhas, or great Buddhist yogis of India and Tibet, organized the sitting instructions in an outline known as the 7-point posture of Varochana. The first point concerns our legs. We could find a so-called Mexican yoga blanket online for about $20. We could fold it in such a manner as to approximate a 24 by 18-inch rectangle. May we remember to wash it weekly, for the work of sitting could be sweaty business. Good evening, Shivi. The majority of contemporary contemplative art depicts the Buddha sitting in a full lotus posture. What an excellent example of the effect of patriarchy's toxic elitism upon art. For few can comfortably and sustainably assume that posture, or asana, for 2 hours daily. I gotta do a spell check here. Please bear with me. D-E-P-I-C-T. Oh, word. You're so strange. Okay, let's get back over here. D-E-P-I-C. Oh, plural. Okay. Add. Together. The most ancient Buddhist art, however, depicts Gautama, the Buddha, as sitting in what some would describe as merely the quarter lotus posture, wherein one leg lies flat upon the other, like a sandwich. It is important, therefore, to remember that it is our hips that are ball joints, whereas our knees are merely hinge joints. Treating them as if they were treating knees as if they were as omnidirectional as our hip joints could lead our knees to needless and unnecessary injury. By experimenting with our hip joints, we could rest our insteps upon the blanket instead of the bony crowns of our ankles, which would be needlessly painful. The instep is a fancy word for the top of the foot. After a lifetime of sitting in chairs, the quarter lotus could feel like an impossibility. May we therefore remember not to force the posture. Once we have assumed as sustainable a version of this posture as we can, we could surrender to temporary imperfection, allowing time and gravity to work their so-called magic as they return our bodies to a semblance of the flexibility we once enjoyed as children. We might find that by setting a circular meditation cushion or zafu upon Try two. Many find that by setting a circular meditation cushion or zafu upon their folded yoga blanket and resting one's tush upon it enhances both the short-term comfort as well as the long-time endurance of the sitting. Aha. We could find a zafu online for about $50. The better ones are filled with buckwheat hulls and have a zipper, a side zipper, which is poorly illustrated right here, through which we could add more holes once the old ones have settled. The second point concerns our hands, which we explored in great detail in a previous chapter discussing Bengali crease counting. The third point concerns, and of course, although we use the word chapter, I'm referring her to a previous lesson. In fact, is to make things more kosher. The third point concerns our spine. With each inhalation, we could generate a vertical traction between our tush and the back of our head, as if we were pulling our head out of the warm, dark place we sometimes keep it. During each exhalation, we are wired to subtly relax this traction. The fourth point concerns our shoulder blades or scapula. Now, I really should use a better image. Would you please bear with me while I grab one real quick? Let's see. I'm going over here, and I'm going to hit SCAPULA, and I'm going to hit image, and quick survey. That'll work. Let's hit this one here, go over here, hit copy, go over yonder, return from yonder, I should say. All right, so I'm going to reveal and delete and insert. And now I'm going to hit the famous wrap text button. Now, something tells me my big old face is going to be in the way. That should work. Should work okay. As someone said, close enough for government work. Okay. Let's try this again. The fourth point concerns our shoulder blades or scapula. With each inhalation, the vertical traction of our spine could gently open our shoulder blades. in a manner reminiscent of a hungry vulture spreading its wings to protect its meal from greedy competitors. Vultures are often referenced in Buddhist teachings as a reminder of the inevitability of the various forms of impermanence, which, although inconvenient and sometimes frightening, could aid our training in release and letting go. The fifth point concerns our head. With each inhalation, subtly dropping our chin down towards our breastbone or sternum could be the natural consequence of subtly pulling the back of our head up while simultaneously opening our shoulder blades. The sixth point concerns our mouth. With each inhalation, our jaws could subtly part, though lips are sealed. And a subtle smile could start at the corners of our lips, ascend through the apples of our cheeks, and perch upon the crow's feet of our eyes. As the tip of our tongue gingerly touches the roof of our mouth, behind our front teeth or incisors. The seventh and final point concerns our gaze. Although some insist there are supernatural benefits to be had from staring at either the sky, the horizon, or even the tip of our nose, our inhalation's kinesiological momentum of spinal traction, scapular, opening, and chin dropping strongly infer that putting our face down towards the floor or earth at a place about 1 or 2 meters before us is most sustainable. Some squeeze their eyes tightly closed, some open wide their eyes as if in surprise, some hold their eyes at half-mast, while some gently close their eyes. May we exercise the courage to experiment and listen to our bodies' ever-changing needs. Yes, this 7-point posture of Vairochana could feel overwhelming. May we therefore give ourselves permission to have a learning curve and allow the upward organization of the 7 points of legs, spine, hands, shoulder blades, head, mouth, and gaze to gently and organically guide us with each inhalation. Doing so, we cannot help but relish each exhalation's subtle release. Like the archetype of Gautama, the Buddha, may we too practice mindfulness and meditation. Having completed our opening lesson, it's time to shift gears. It is Luke Skywalker Friday evening. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. By the way, many of the texts that I use during class are available for free download. Just check the description area below the video. Let's see. Please relaxingly recite with me. Whatever comes, may all beings notice, relax, and flow. Whatever stays, may all beings notice, relax, and flow. Whatever goes, may all beings notice, relax, and flow. Let's try something else. Let's go back over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Upon the tip of our left ring finger, we could rest the great knuckle of our right ring finger, palms up, in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the navel region of our mid-abdomen. Each time we inhale, whether we know it or not, the sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord has evolved to help us to notice in a very special way, to help us to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. Each time we exhale, our parasympathetic nervous system, divided between the lower third and the upper third of that same spinal cord, has evolved to support both our physical relaxation as well as our mental release. Therefore, during each inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite noticing, and during each exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite relaxing. So let's talk Turkey for a moment. Sometimes politicians are wise and noble. Sometimes they're cruel and villainous. And when we see certain leaders, certain so-called leaders in our country turn to villainy and cruelty and folly, we can feel great anxiety and great aggression. In India and in Tibet, when that would happen, people would sometimes ritualistically invoke real or imagined celestial entities described as Dharmapala, or protectors, to come to the rescue. But the Buddha was not keen on ritual. Therefore, it should come as little surprise that the great Buddhist reformer Vajra of the Swat Valley taught that in those times, the greatest protector is not a real or imagined entity. The greatest protection comes from our own practice of noticing and relaxing in harmony with our inhalation and our exhalation. And so, yes, we are wired to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. We are wired to notice our own emotions and thoughts, intentions, memories, and imaginings. But we're also wired to notice our sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, and scents. And so we can, in addition to noticing our anxiety and aggression, we could also notice the fools and the villains whose behaviors give rise to our anxiety and aggression. And then, of course, during our exhalation, we can let go. That does not create some indifferent aloofness. Remember, correctly practicing mindfulness and meditation stimulates our anterior cingulate gyrus, our seat of empathy. It was promised by this great meditation master of the Swat Valley that vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly noticing the wrecking ball of our own emotions and our own circumstances, present and potential, and then relaxing during our exhalation, sets in motion literal and metaphoric protection far more effective than a shaman's spell or an assassin's weapon. Do I know that's true? No, I don't. Rumors of my omniscience are greatly exaggerated. But I like that idea. I like that idea that by being vulnerable to the jungle within me, as well as the jungle without me, I can not only endure, me and mine can not only endure, but we can prevail. The sun rises, the sun sets, fools come and fools go, villains come and villains go. One time in Tibet, there was a king who came to power. He said, I hate Buddhism. I'm going to kill all the Buddhists. Within approximately 12 years, don't come after me if I forget the exact number, he was dead. He didn't live forever. and teachers were then invited to come to Tibet from India. And certain translators left Tibet and went down to India and received instructions. Now, was that sad? Yes. Was that difficult? Oh, hell yeah. Was it inconvenient? Yeah, sure, you betcha. But in the larger scheme of things, the foolish and the evil come and go. It has been said that the more time we spend in mindfulness and meditation, the more our choices, utterances, and deeds could flow from centered spontaneity. I've noticed that. But I also like the idea that there are non-violent solutions to violent people. Let's practice. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 13 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.